Okay, so get this, right? This deep dive, it's about AI. Like we always talk about AI, but this is different. This keynote speech, it really kind of threw me for a loop, I gotta say.
Yeah, I went in expecting the typical rah-rah tech talk, but this was different. I
Yeah.
mean, right out of the gate, he hits you with this idea that we're not just on the verge of rapid progress. He's talking singularity within our lifetimes.
Whoa, okay, hold on. Singularity, like for real. I mean, I know the term gets thrown around, but he's actually going there.
He is. It's like, think about it. Technological progress it's not linear,
Yeah.
right? It's exponential. Like he used that analogy of the lily pond, remember?
Lilies.
Yeah, the lilies double in size every day, and for the longest time, it seems like nothing's happening, and then boom, the entire pond is covered, just like that.
Right, right. But on the very last day.
Exactly. It's easy to miss the point when you're focused on the day-to-day.
I feel like we're living in that last day, or at least getting close.
That's the point he was making, yeah. And it's not just about, faster phones or whatever, it's the implications. He even went so far as to say that Moore's law, it's not slowing down, it's actually accelerating.
Okay, so it's not just that we have faster computers now, it's what we can do with them.
And he really got into the weeds on transformer models, which honestly, I had heard of them, but he really opened my eyes to how much they changed the game back in, what was it, 2017?
Okay, so I'll admit, transformer models, machine learning, it all kind of blends together for me sometimes. What's the ELI5 version here?
Think of it like this. Previous AI, it was mostly about recognizing patterns,
Hmm.
right? Like they could identify a word, but they didn't actually get the meaning. Context, relationships, the nuances,
Mm-hmm.
transformer models, they get all that. That's why things like ChatGPT, they can write a poem 1 minute, generate computer code the next.
And ChatGPT just exploded, like it's everywhere now, 100 million users or something crazy like that, right?
Which just proves his point. It's not some far-off thing anymore. This stuff is here now, and it's only going to get, well, more.
If what he's saying is true, ChatGPT is just the tip of the iceberg. Like he made some pretty out there predictions for what AI will be able to do.
Oh, yeah, predictions that kind of blur the line between reality and, well, sci-fi. Like, what would you say if I told you we'll be able to talk to animals in a few years?
Wait, seriously? He went there. Talk to animals. Like, actually talk to animals. I mean, I guess I always thought that was, pure Fantasyland stuff.
Right. It's like something out of a movie. But the thing is, he wasn't talking about just teaching dogs to sit on command. He's talking about real communication, like having conversations with elephants, understanding the songs of whales.
Wow. So what, like Dr. Dolittle, but with AI?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you see, it goes even deeper than that. Think about the implications for a second. We always assumed humans were, well, top of the food chain, intellectually speaking, right?
Sure, makes sense. Language, abstract thought, all that.
But what if, and this is what he was getting at, what if we've been misinterpreting things all along? What if other species have their own forms of intelligence, their own ways of experiencing the world that we're just now beginning to, even comprehend?
Okay, yeah, that would definitely put a dent in the whole human superiority thing.
And think about what we could learn, the knowledge, the different perspectives. It would be like discovering a whole new, I don't know, a whole new dimension of existence.
Mind-blowing. Okay, but hold on. Let me play devil's advocate for a second. Assuming this is even possible, ethically speaking, isn't this kind of a Pandora's box?
That's a really good point. And to be honest, it's something a lot of people are already grappling with in the AI ethics world. Because if and when we do achieve this level of interspecies communication, how does that change our responsibility towards these animals?
Right, right. Good point. Okay, so talking to animals is one thing. But then he went on to this whole other mind-bending topic, which was AI-generated content. And, we've talked about deepfakes and all that before, but Sora, that one really freaked me out a little.
Yeah, Sora definitely ups the ante. I mean, the fact that
Yeah.
we can now generate not just images, but entire videos so realistic they're indistinguishable from the real thing, it's unsettling, to say the least.
It's like suddenly seeing is no longer believing. How do we know what's real anymore?
Exactly. And that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? As this technology becomes more and more sophisticated and more accessible, we're going to have to completely rethink how we evaluate truth, authenticity, all of it. And this isn't some abstract philosophical debate either. This has real-world consequences.
For everything. I mean, think about journalism, the legal system, even just our personal relationships.
Right. I mean, how do you prosecute a crime based on video evidence when anyone can create a completely fabricated video that looks completely real? Or, on a more personal level, how do you know if that video chat you had with your grandma was actually with her? or some AI impersonator.
Okay, I'm officially creeped out now, and just when I thought we couldn't go any further down the rabbit hole, he starts talking about merging AI with our brains.
Ah, yes. The merging of AI and neuroscience. That's the final frontier in a lot of ways.
It's like we're talking about science fiction here, but then he brings up those real-world examples like Neuralink, and suddenly it's not so far-fetched anymore.
Right. You have Elon Musk out there claiming his brain-computer interface is going to cure blindness, paralysis, all sorts of things. And, we can debate the timeline, but the underlying science is it's not that crazy anymore.
It's both incredibly exciting and kind of terrifying at the same time.
Absolutely. And the example he used of that paralyzed man playing video games with his mind, I mean, it really highlights the transformative potential of this technology. Imagine a world where disabilities are no longer limitations, where we can augment our abilities in ways we never thought possible.
Okay, I'll admit, the gamer in me thinks that's pretty cool, but there's got to be a line somewhere, right? Like, how far do we go with this before it's, I don't know, too much?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And it's a question we as a society need to start thinking about now, because the technology is advancing whether we're ready for it or not.
So, with all this talk about the future, he also addressed the elephant in the room, right? What happens to work in an AI-powered world? So, is he saying programmers are going to be out of a job? That AI will just, like, replace them completely?
That was his argument, yeah.
Yeah.
He actually used the word obsolete at one point, which I thought was kind of harsh, but I get his point.
Well, he did compare coding to Latin earlier, so.
Right. Like still relevant in a historical sense, but not exactly the most sought-after skill.
So, what's he saying then? Everyone should just become an artist or something. Because AI can't paint, right?
Not yet, anyway. But no, his point was more about the types of skills that will be valuable going forward. Creativity, critical thinking, problem solving, that kind of thing. The stuff AI can't quite replicate yet.
So, more focus on the things that make us uniquely human.
Exactly. He used Roblox as an example, actually. How kids are building these complex games and world without knowing any traditional coding languages.
Yeah, those tools are incredible. My kids have shown me some of the stuff they can do. It's mind-blowing.
It's like we're shifting from a knowledge-based economy to an imagination-based economy.
Okay, that's a really interesting way to put it. But what does that even mean for, like, education? How do we prepare kids for jobs that don't even exist yet?
Right. And he admitted there's no easy answer.
Mm-hmm.
But he seems to favor a shift away from rote memorization, learning specific software, that kind of thing, toward adaptability.
Yeah.
Being able to learn new things quickly.
Makes sense. The one constant is change, especially in tech.
And he stressed social emotional skills, too. Collaboration, communication, all that. Because even if AI can automate a lot of tasks, it can't replace human connection.
At least not yet.
Right. Who knows what the future holds. But anyway, then he got into the metaverse, which honestly I thought he might gloss over, but he actually spent quite a bit of time on it.
Yeah, he seemed pretty convinced it's not just a fad.
Oh, he went all in on the metaverse.
Yeah.
He said, and I quote, "The metaverse isn't a place, it's a platform."
I remember that. It's like it's not just about strapping on a VR headset and playing games. It's something much bigger.
Right. He sees it as this inevitable merging of our physical and digital lives where work, play, relationships, it all kind of blurs together.
Okay, so now I'm getting flashbacks to that Black Mirror episode. But he did say we have a choice in how this all plays out, right?
He did. And he painted two very different scenarios, almost like a choose your own adventure for the future of AI. One hand, you've got this utopia where AI takes care of all the boring jobs. Everyone's got plenty of leisure time. We're all living our best lives.
Sign me up.
Right. Who would want that? But then he flips the script and says, okay, but what happens to people's sense of purpose? If work is no longer necessary, what motivates us? What keeps us going?
Whoa. Okay, yeah, those are some deep questions.
And it's not just about finding meaning either. What about the economic implications? If AI replaces a huge chunk of the workforce, how do we ensure that everyone benefits from this technological revolution,
Yeah.
not just a select few?
Right. Distribution of wealth, all of that. It's a lot to unpack.
And that's his point. He doesn't have all the answers. Nobody does. But the questions, the conversations we're having now, those are what matter because they're going to shape the future we're creating.
So, what's the takeaway here? Are we all doomed? Should I start stocking up on canned goods and preparing for the robot apocalypse?
He actually ended on a very hopeful note. Remember that question he kept coming back to? The one about what role we're going to play in shaping the future of AI.
Yeah, it was like he was challenging us to step up.
Exactly. He's saying this isn't just happening to us. We're active participants in this. Whether we realize it or not, the choices we're making today, both individually and collectively, those are the brushstrokes that are painting the future.
So it's not about fearing the robots. It's about figuring out how to work with them, how to make sure AI is a force for good in the world.
Precisely. And who knows, maybe we'll even learn how to have a conversation with an elephant along the way.
Okay, now that's a future I can get behind. On that note, I think we've officially explored every corner of this AI revolution. For now, at least.
Until the next breakthrough, that is.
Exactly. Until next time, everyone, keep those minds open, those imaginations fired up, and let's build the future we want to see.